mean, I think most importantly, and what we certainly know is going to be true just from a historical standpoint, is many women are going to lose their lives needlessly. I think what's really telling is the editors of the New England Journal of Medicine came out with a statement saying that they strongly condemn the U.S. Supreme Court's decision. And I also think it's important for us to remember that the treatment for an isotopic pregnancy is abortion. The treatment for a septic uterus is abortion. The treatment for a miscarriage that your body won't release is abortion. If you do not get these abortions, you will die. And of course, we know ultimately that this is about control. If this was truly about life, we would have universal health care, we would have free education, free daycare, we would have mental health care support, and of course, the southern states, right, would be doing all that they could to drop the Black maternal mortality rate. We have the highest mortality rate in terms of maternal health in the developed world. It's petrifying, it's scary, and it's imperative that we continue to fight back.
Bill Crane, once again, polling, when we look at this particular case, polling tells us that the majority of justices in the Supreme Court are out of sync with public opinion. These are unelected justices. They have this job for life. Is this politically sustainable in the long term?
Well, I would also point out that when Roe versus Wade was the decision by the Supreme Court, that was a 6-3 conservative versus progressive court and a 7-2 vote in favor of expanding and creating an abortion right that did not exist prior to that time. And when Casey versus Pennsylvania or Planned Parenthood was decided in 1992, which somewhat peeled back that broader right, again, it was a Republican majority on that court. We're seeing some pretty conservative decisions coming out of this court. I don't think it's a real surprise, given that 3 of these justices were appointed by Donald Trump. I think if we have a Democrat in the White House following Joe Biden, we'll see more Democrats on the bench. It's ebb and flow. I would remind folks watching in China and elsewhere, this didn't end the right to abortion. It just returned that decision to the states.
Right.
In Georgia, to the prior panel members' comments, we are expanding funding on maternal mortality. We do have a culture of life here. I'm not a fan of the heartbeat bill. I'm pro-choice, but everybody has a voice and a vote. So those battles will play out, and I hope, good to the wording in that Supreme Court decision, that other states will not attempt to regulate women traveling back and forth between states, legal interstate commerce, should they choose to have an abortion procedure. Lastly, having a sister as a nurse practitioner, ectopic pregnancies and those others ending in D&C procedures, in most states those procedures are carved out and are not considered abortive because they involve the health of the mother.
Okay, Brittany, what do you make of that? Abortion hasn't been banned, it's left now to the states.
Well, I think this is silly. I think we need to go, at one point, we can say that the Civil War was fought over states' rights. Yes, states' rights to own property, and those property were enslaved Africans. So this concept that, everything should go back to states' rights is quite frankly silly. And we know that we have the federal government for the purpose of correcting these types of historical inequalities and, quite frankly, inhumane laws. I think we truly need to go back to the history here, and that's so often missing from these conversations. This is not about life. Abortion law in this country and the origins with which it comes from, we can look at the 19th century. Abortion came out, outlawing abortion in the 19th century was rooted, right? And this is the material coming from women and gender scholars. It came out of the anxieties of upper class white men who resented women's political engagement and who feared losing political, economic, and cultural power to people of color and European Catholic immigrants. So to maintain their supremacy, white elites encouraged pronatalist policies and outlawed abortion in order to expand the community of people like themselves, which were upper-class white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. So they essentially were compelling middle-class white women to have more babies in the service of maintaining white elite political power. But these laws, just like the ones that we have and are currently being passed, never stopped abortion. We know that it doesn't stop abortion across the board among the rich, the poor, and the working class. Historically, we know that women of every class, racial identity, nationality, marital status get abortion. So the problem that we're going to run into is, again, it's a privacy issue, and we also know that women are going to keep getting abortions. They're going to die unnecessarily, and we know that it's going to disproportionately affect those that are incarcerated and poor women who won't be able to travel to other states to go get the procedures done.